Okay, very good. Right now, just sort of dialing it all in, as they say, and getting on frequency here. I am on the KWS-1. Great to hear you fine gentlemen on, and it's nice to get on a nice Sunday, or pardon me, Saturday morning here. Let me just check my PA here, make sure everything's good. Yep, got a nice dip. Running just about the right amount of output, so very, very well. I got to see the blood moon here too, Kev. It was coming over the Verdugo Mountains on the east side, and I had just a spectacular view of the thing. It was great. Really, really enjoyed it, and it was. I wish I'd taken a picture of it, but my phone doesn't do so well with those kind of shots. I wouldn't have gotten it very well. So, anyhow, Jeff, it seems like you've been quite busy getting your situation there. You were talking about getting nuts and bolts in order and getting all the all the stuff put away and organized. Sounds like you've got quite a bit going on. I've been mailing quite a few radios out to Nationwide Radio Exchange, Mark Olson's outfit, and getting stuff sent out to him. He's good at selling things, and I'm trying to alleviate a lot of stuff in my garage. And they're all good stuff. They're all fun, good quality, good working. I don't have any problem selling that stuff, you know. And Mark does a fine job at putting it all, taking pictures, and it really saves me a lot of time. And I don't have to deal with all the eBay BS either. So hang on a sec. I got some noise here. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. Anyhow, yeah. So Mark Olson's been helping me, and man, he's a great guy, good ham, and has a nice store, online store. I don't know if you fellas have seen it or not, but it's not bad. I've bought a few things from him in the past that I've needed here and there. Oftentimes he does the estate sale thing, you know, where he gets the estate going and picks it all up, goes through it, and frequently has a lot of Collins stuff. Definitely is a magnet for Collins. And so if you're looking for something in that line, you could probably get it from him, or he keeps his eye out for you and lets you know, drops you a line when you're interested in getting something. So anyway, I've got nothing big to add here. I'm waiting for Rosanna to come down. She's going to be doing some breakfast here in a minute, and I'll turn it to you, Jeff, I believe. Great to hear you on, Kevin. You're coming in fine. I'm on the big 70-foot dipole to reach you better over there, Kevin. Hopefully that's helping out. And, of course, Jeff, you're so strong over here, I could go one or the other. It'll be 10 or 20 dB difference at times, but you're so strong. And I imagine you did get a lot of rain, and I can see a lot of snow from my angle over here, from my vantage point. So no shortage there at all, Jeff. KK6IRZ, W4PLI. Okay, a little pause there, just in case. Let me get things a little bit situated here a little better. My little puff breath disc that goes in front of my microphonium has drooped a little bit. But that's all right. It'll all work out in the long run. And yeah, well, I don't know. I guess I didn't mention, but the past 2 Saturdays, last Saturday and the week before that, I made trips to San Diego for kind of an estate sale. Not really, but there was an area down there, Norm. What was his last name? Robinson, I think, or whatever. I guess really old-time engineer, good friends with Mr. Collins
himself. Even had like a KWM2 prototype that he had got all the parts from Collins and built it himself over there in the prototype days of the KWM2. I think that's what it was. But in any case, I guess he unfortunately had some type of illness. I don't know if it was dementia or whatever, but now he's going to have, care taken. And the wife, kind of wanted the stuff to get out there to somebody. And also the area where all the stuff is, it's in a hangar. So they're trying to make room for a project that they want to build a car or something like that. So a combination of reasons, but the last 2 weekends I headed on down to San Diego to try to get what I could, with bearing in mind the limited space that I had. And I ended up getting 2 Prius fulls. And last weekend I actually even invited Jay, NY6L, so he went down there and we loaded up his truck, and then he came by here to my house so that we could unload some of the iron. I couldn't carry the iron in my Prius, so I had to pull Jay in. Not only that, I had seen a couple things that were at the hangar that I knew would interest him, a couple backpack radios and that type of thing, and he's kind of into that stuff. But I mean, it was just a plethora of different stuff. I mean, brand new Bud Box chassis, 17-inch by 17-inch by 4-inch deep. You don't see those too often. 2 of them, brand new. Hadn't even had a drill drilled into it. Might even already still have the stickers on it. Those rack boxes, little pull drawer boxes with all the horses thing. Just drawer after drawer after drawer of good stuff. I mean, he was a builder, he was an engineer, he was a designer, and he just had everything that you really needed to sit down and just tinker around with probably most any circuit you want to play with. I mean, he had coffee cans full of recapping capacitors, all brand new, those yellow body runs. I mean, just so much. So I've been kind of going through that, trying to find a place to put everything. But as I go through, I obviously also want to make a note and a log of what I have. So I have a little ledger that I put information in my book on what I have and where it's located. So that's kind of been the process that I've been doing. But man, every time I open up another bin, it's just full. I was working on an SB220, and it had some, didn't have lock washes on all the screws, and some of the countersink screws had been pulled through the hole, and that type of thing, and a few screws missing. So I wanted to really stabilize the chassis on the SB220, and the perfect screws sitting right there in the bins that he had. Didn't have to go anywhere. I opened 2 bins that had screws in it that I had got from down there in San Diego, and they were all separated in their little squares with star interconnecting nuts, where they have the little lock stars right on the nut. Not quite exactly how the original would be, but still that's what I went with, and everything came up really nice and tightened up, and I straightened out all the rails. So I've already put a lot of the stuff to good use. And then, tubes up the wazoo. Oh, I found more 8005 tubes. There was 450 TLs, 250 TLs, 304 THs, 304 TLs or THs, I forget, 100 THs. I mean, every time I opened a box, Dave, there was another surprise. So that's what I've been doing over here. Has been trying to sort all that stuff and get it, out of its way. So I have all this stuff that I got kind of piled in the workshop area, And I'd like to pull all that out. Plus, I want to pull out stuff that's already on the shelves and put it on tables and then reorganize, because definitely all those those drawer racks are going to be going on the bench instead of what I have. So there's going to be a lot of shuffling around too. So waiting for the rain to stop so that I can just go put stuff out on the tables, and if I don't get it done in one day, I can just put a cover over it and leave them outside and not feel bad about the place. But with the rain, I don't want to do that. So there you go. That was probably more explanation than you needed. But that's kind of been the activities, and I've been having a fun. And I haven't even got to sorting the iron out, but just looking at it, there's numerous mod transformers and stuff in the pile, and so it was just a really fun 2 Saturdays in a row of a ham radio adventure to San Diego. WA6JKN with a little AM in the AM. There's the adventure story for the goodies and parts. KK6IRZ.
Break.
Yeah, the break-in station. Go ahead and turn it over to WA6JKN.
Okay, Kevin, WA6JKN from K6TOX. Ken out here in Santa Clarita. Good signal from everybody. I guess God provides there. Jeff, sounds like you hit the gold mine. Anyway, I was just listening. I had a question, Kevin, for you. I was listening to you about your generator deal and taking the 20 kW generator to out to Texas. How big is that thing? I was wondering if you put that in the car, or you have a trailer, or how you're going to get it there. Sounds like a major prep work. Anyway, I'm running maybe 200 watts here, I think, with the amp. And so I thought I'd put that on so people could hear me. So over to you, Kevin. WA6JKN K6TOX. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, it fits right in the back of the truck. Yeah, any size truck. Just got to get at least 4 people to lift it. It is on the heavy side. A couple 100 pounds at least. So there you go. Hang on a minute. I got to take care of the dogs. Hang on. Okay, and took care of that. All right. Let's see. I answered the question about the generator. Yeah, we have a big ranch out there in Texas. We're in the process of buying up all the property surrounding the ranch. It started off being 40 acres, it's up to about 100 now. We got another 100 acres to go. So it's a slow process. It may take another 5 to 10 years to buy the last 100 acres. Because the people have lived there and families have owned their property for generations and stuff. But the good news is they're all old. They're all, the generational thing is old, and of course their heirs don't want to live on the ranch or on the property, so they rather get the money. And so what happens is the property in Texas isn't really that expensive. That's why you can gobble it all up pretty cheap. And so let's say you have a 20-acre, say about 20 acres worth about, say, $300,000, which is, cheap. When we first started, we made the mistake of, they said, well, those are the rich people from California. You know, everybody who lives in California is rich, see? Well, that's not true. So we turned it over to a broker. You just hire a broker, pay the broker a big fee for each piece of property they secure, and that way they can't play the, oh, they're rich, and here's what happened. This one piece of property was valued at about $300,000. It was 20 acres, and they found out they were rich people from California, so they automatically went up to $500,000. You see? Oh yeah, those people in California, they'll pay the extra $200,000. You know? Wrong. Yeah. So since the property is getting big, and we have our home was just completed. Well, it was completed about a year ago, but we had a problem. I had to redo a bunch of stuff, so it took another 6 months to almost a year to solve that problem. We had a water breakage from a contractor that made a huge mistake. That's a long story in itself. So we already have one 24 kW generator. That's why I bought one for California, because I loved it. It's made by Generac, and they're not that expensive, really. They're about 10 grand, 15 grand, something like that, depending upon the size. They start off at 4 kW, and they go all the way up. And it comes, they come and install it for you. And so the 24 kW is the one you want, because that one is if you take a look at the efficiency, has the best efficiency numbers for generating power and consumption of propane gas. And so you just tie it into your propane system. It's the cleanest way to run a generator. And as you know, we have a 600-gallon tank on the ranch, on the one side of the ranch, and we may end up installing another one on the other side of the ranch as the property gets bigger. Because you could store propane for a long, long time. And so that makes it nice. Gasoline, nope. California gasoline lasts for about a week and a half. If you have a lawnmower, you know what I'm talking about. I mean a gas lawnmower, which I don't have because I have all artificial turf here now. So yeah, it fits on the truck. And I decided to bring that to Texas and install a smaller one. Now the smaller one is what's it called? A Furman 10 kW. I forget. You get it. They sell it over at Costco. It's fantastic. It's got everything. Multi-fuel, LP, propane, gas. I'm running mine on propane. And it has a generator, a electric starter with a battery on board. It has the CO protection circuits, and it's got all kinds of outputs on it, 50 amp, 30 amp, and so on and so forth, 220 outlets. And so what I did is I put that in an environmental box, output system on it. It just attaches to the existing muffler exhaust system and brings the hot gases outside the box. And it has breathers for the intake. And I added a switch for connecting the battery. It's a master switch for the battery. So when it's not used, you turn it off. And it's got this big cable on it that you plug into the wall of the house that goes to the transfer panel, and that does all the nice switchover stuff. But I'm not using the automatic one. I find that to be annoying in California. California PG&E has got a problem with their reclosures, new reclosure devices they installed. A reclosure is a device on the high power lines that looks for shorts on the line from trees or whatever, and it shuts off power. then it interrogates to see if the short's still there by turning the power back on, and it could shatter, you know, kilowatts of power, literally kilowatts of power, turn it off, on and off, and have it shatter. I've had my emergency battery power backup systems here actually chatter. They go, and I'm going, what the heck is that? You know? And then I fire up my security system, see if all systems are go, and it wiped out 7 of my Wi-Fi switches. I go, man, that's no good. So, yeah, you don't want, it will burn up, the DIDT from that just burns up the solid state equipment. So that's why I have battery backup systems on all of my expensive equipment, radios alike. I filed a complaint and also submitted a bill. They had to pay for all the damage. It was about $6 grand. They paid up. Matter of fact, they didn't even blink. You file a complaint, and they came back and they told me what happened, that the engineers over at the reclaimer department, whatever they're called, and they were playing around with the sensitivity of the reclosures, I should call it, reclosures, getting ready for the wind, the bad weather. And so I guess somebody got scolded and talked to stop playing around with these adjustments. All right, so there's a long story for how do you get a generator to Texas. You put it on the back of the truck. They're not that big. Generac is, they've done a really good, that's a real good, robust design. You know, my Generac from 30-something years ago, well, 25 years ago, actually, was a different company at that time, and boy, their generators were crap. They didn't last very long. And but the company that took them over has done a great job in terms of quality and everything else. So yeah, I would recommend it. If you're looking for a generator, get one that's all built. You'll pay more. This one here I'm piecing together because I'm saving several $1,000s building it myself. All right. Well, there's my transmission. Let's see, who does it go to? Over to Dave. Dave, your KW Sugar 1 sounds wonderful. And Ken, welcome aboard. Hope you stay with us. And over to Dave, WD4PLI, WA6JKN.
Okay, very good there, Kevin. WA6JKN. Very nice. WD4PLI. Oh, let's turn the squelch up on the 6 meter. Yeah, I've been keeping my ear out on 6 meters on 50.125 sideband. And I have to monitor. I call CQ up there all the time, almost exhaustively, but not very many bites. There's just not a lot of action over here, at least in my zone here on 6 meters. I've got it aimed right down Jeff's throat. I've got it aimed at you there, Mr. Chino, man. I got it kind of pointing east by southeast. Since it's only a 2-element cubical quad, it's got a fairly broad pattern. I may end up adding a director, or not a director, right? Yeah, a director. I might add one to it. Right now it's just a driven element and a reflector. But I have made some good contacts on 6. No AM contacts though on 50.4. Nabbit, I wish things were a little bit different there, but I have made sideband contacts and I try to monitor the frequency and call from time to time, of course, just to see if there's anyone also listening by chance. So anyway, Jeff, hopefully you're going to get on 6 at some point. And I'll be getting on 10 meters quite a bit. The band's been open and it's been a lot of fun getting on. I've just been getting on with my 5/8 vertical. So my little stereo 6-pounder, and I just put that up, and it works great, you know, for what it is. It's probably the most elegant of all antennas. I can throw it up on a 30-foot mast, and I can talk to Japan and Australia that afternoon. It's not half shabby for what it is. And not as good as a beam, certainly not the hex beam, but for just something simple to put up and get on the air with, I have no complaints at all, for quick and dirty, for sure. Anyway, the Generac is a great, I've only been impressed with their product. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Interesting, Kevin, on your comments about multi-fuel sources at the Costco. I guess Costco has their own version or sells another model. I wasn't quite sure about that. But it sounds like it's a very possible solution there. My concern here for me, if I were to get one, is will I have the alternate source of fuel to run it? Or will the earthquake take that, propane, natural gas, will it take it offline, which is often the case up here. You can take a look at the Northridge earthquake as a case study of what happens to natural gas lines here in this silty San Fernando Valley. I'll tell you about that. But anyway, probably you already know that. But anyway, I've always been impressed with the Generac. It looks like a very good quality product. Glad you have it. I'll keep things moving here. Rosanna's cooking breakfast, so what I'll probably do, judging from the length of transmission, I'm going to listen out and turn it to you. I guess I had a hard copy. I think it was John that was in there, but I wasn't having a very good copy. So Jeff, I'll turn it to you, and please turn it over then, because I just wasn't able to get a solid fix. KK6IRZ, and very good, by the way, on everything you're doing with the very interesting components, parts, equipment, everything. Sounds like you're getting a good handle on it there, my friend, and I'm happy for you. KK6IRZ, W4PLI listening.
Okay, very good, Dave, but I think it goes over to Ken. Excuse me, over to Ken.
K6COX.
And then to me. Or maybe I'm goofing up the order. I don't know. I forget now already. But Ken, go ahead and make one and then send it back to me. K6TOX, KK6IRZ.
Okay, KK6IRZ, K6TOX. Well, good. I'm glad you can fit that on your truck. That's a long drive back there. I've got some acreage up in the Sierras in Groveland, which is just outside Yosemite, and the grandkids come there, and we celebrate our anniversaries and such up there. But they get tired of taking care of it, and I get tired of taking care of it. We got a lot of trees to cut down with fire hazards and stuff, and Cal Fire is always on our case. They did a deal, Cal Fire came in and shredded a lot of trees and cleaned. Supposedly was going to clean it up, but actually they just cut the stuff down and supposed to use masticators and grind it up. They really didn't clean it up very good. To where now there's just a lot of dead stuff on the ground. It needs to be removed. So they called for years. They wanted permission to come on the property and do a road. Finally they did it. I really should pay somebody to come in and grind it up, get rid of it. There's always some catch to these deals. So anyway, I got to check out here. I've got my granddaughter. I got to take over to LAX. She's going to Texas. So I guess all my exes are in Texas. Anyway, let you guys go, because I've got to head out here shortly for the airport. At least the weather looks better today. Hopefully the rain has stopped off some. So, anyway, Jeff, you take it, KK6IRZ, K6TOX.
Okay, very good, Ken. K6TOX with a little AM in the AM. This is KK6IRZ. And Dave, we'll catch you later on, 73 to you. And yeah, 6 meters, like I say, I have to open it. I got to have a bench to work on things. And right now I'm buried again. That's the never-ending cycle that has been my plague for 5 years, I think. Every time I just get to a point of where I might be able to get some work done, I get another pile that buries me. Now, in the early parts of it, it was because I was building out here, but now that the building is done, it's all the shuffling around that I have to keep doing of the stuff. But I have I have the Zeus sitting on top of the T368 right there next to the bench, which is the area I'm trying to get all cleared out. And next to the T368, or at the base of this T368, all wrapping around it, is all the iron that has come up from San Diego that I still have to find a place for. So yeah, it's a new ongoing thing. And Ken, yeah, very good on deals. Yeah, deals don't always work out. But you know, here's something that I always try to keep in mind because it just seems like no matter what it is in life, it boils down to, you know, there's 3 available positions. And that's cheap, good, and fast. And the problem is you only get to pick 2. If it's going to be cheap and fast, it's not going to be good. If it's going to be cheap and good, it's not going to be fast, etc. So there's always a price to pay, no matter what deal you make. Unfortunately, that's the way it always seems to work, in my experience, anyway. And very good. Yeah, I asked the same question, Ken. I was surprised too when he said he was putting that unit in the back of the truck. So very good on that, carrying it in the truck. But yes, I can understand how it takes multiple people to get it in and out. But at least once you get it in there, you can just do it yourself and haul it. So that's pretty good. That's not bad. And yeah, I mean, 50, you know, what is it? 24,000 is a 100 amp service with 240. So you know, a typical trailer is a 50 amp service. So the new generator, I think you said, was what, 10? So that's a little bit under a 50 amp service. That's going to run everything you want when you have power outage or something like that. It'll keep everything going that you need to keep going and have extra. So at the I mean, out here in my ham shack is only a 50 amp service. That's the whole. That's the branched out service to the ham shack back here, and I have air conditioning, run my transmitter, all that type of stuff. So 50 amps provides you quite a bit of power, to be quite honest. So you should be fine with that 10 kilowatt, as long as it can deal with the full load. You know, which it sounds to me like you probably got a good one anyway, and I forget, I didn't catch the name, and I don't know that much about generators, to be quite honest, so I can't really tell you what's a good generator or a bad generator. Most of the generators I've been involved in were big ones for short wave and stuff, nothing that would be house class type type stuff, but that's all right. I don't have a problem with power outages here in Chino. Pretty rare. So there you go. With that said, though, gentlemen, I too am going to go back into the listening mode and get back to some of that sorting and all that. But of course, I'm always listening on the outside speaker for anybody who wants to throw a rock in the water through the course of the day. If I hear it, I will certainly respond. But for now, I'm going to say 73. I'll send it up to Kevin and let him continue on with it. But it's been a pleasure, gentlemen, talking a little AM in the AM. WA6JKN with the group. This is KK6IRZ.